A very good evening. You're watching Big Bang with me, Shruti. Well, it seems like a weird twist of events have ultimately spelled trouble for Bangalore City DC GC Prakash. The High Court today ordered a probe against possible misappropriation of office at the behest of a complaint filed by a private firm named Lakshmi One Polymers. The complaint was filed at the court after the DC had given a ruling against the company, disallowing it from procuring 30,000 square feet of land on lease. Well, the High Court has ordered a probe into the possible misappropriation into the matter. The DC has been accused of deliberately denying lease of 30,000 square feet of land. Lakshmi One Polymers had applied for procuring 30,000 square feet of land on lease. For more on this, I'm joined in by my colleague Nolan. Nolan, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, it's pretty interesting what has happened over here, Shruti. Now, Bangalore City DC or Bengaluru City DC GC Prakash has been given a notice. Now, in fact, the High Court has ordered the CID to seize certain documents, and I'll tell you what those documents that they want are. They've also asked the CID to look into misappropriation of his office. Basically, this is the story. Lakshmi One Polymers had taken 30,000 square feet of land on rent. Now, the government did a survey of the land and found irregularities. Now, this was taken to the DC court, and the High Court directed the DC to look into this particular matter. Now, what happened was that the DC, this is the information we are getting, typed two orders, one in favor and one against the company. Now, unfortunately for the DC, the Bangalore City DC GC Prakash, Lakshmi One Polymer representative, he was supposed to meet him. He entered his office when the DC was not there and saw these documents on the table. Now, he was smart enough. He clicked pictures of that. And he is the one who actually took this matter up with the government, because when the DC got to know about this, he wrote an order against the company. So since they had the snaps with them or the pictures that they had clicked, they went to court. Now, the court, after seeing this, has clearly stated that something is wrong, totally wrong, has asked the CID, imagine that, the CID to seize the documents and also find out the truth.
Well, Nolan, also tell us, now that the misappropriation has come to light, if these allegations are proven, what is the kind of action that we can expect against GC Prakash?
Well, we can actually expect strict and stringent action to be taken against him, considering the fact that the High Court, that is, I beg your pardon, has actually asked the CID to look into this. Now, the High Court really normally does not ask the CID to look into this. Normally, it's the police. But considering how important this is, considering that those people actually, the representatives of the company showed them the pictures, so the High Court has actually taken this matter very seriously, and stringent action will be taken against him if he's found guilty.
Well, thank you so much, Nolan, for joining in with all those details. Well, the Bangalore City DC is indeed in trouble. Lakshmi One Polymers had applied for procuring 30,000 square feet of land on lease. And, well, GC Prakash, Bangalore City DC, has been accused of misappropriation of office. And the High Court has ordered a probe into the possible misappropriation by GC Prakash, who is the Bangalore City DC. He has been accused of misusing his office. And while stringent action is expected against GC Prakash if the allegations against him are proven to be true. And moving on, fluctuation in blood pressure requires medical attention, but a person suffering from low blood pressure came out on road driving a car and caused a series of accidents on Millers Road.
Look at the state of this car. A few damaged bikes can also be seen. 5 people, including an 11-year-old boy, were injured, and one of them is in a serious condition. The doctors have said that he is out of danger. This is all because of this elderly gentleman. His name is Jayappa and a resident of Vasant Nagar. He is reportedly suffering from low BP. Today at 1:30 in the afternoon, he decided to drive his car. When he entered Millers Road, his blood pressure suddenly dipped, and in a state of confusion, he pushed the accelerator instead of the brake. The car gained speed and Jayappa lost control of the vehicle. It then ran amok on the road, hitting an SUV and 3 bikes and a few pedestrians before coming to a halt.
Actually, vehicle on idru mele ittu, car mele ittu actually. ಅವನು ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಅವನು ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದ, ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ರೂಫ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದ್ದ. ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೊಡೆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪೋಲಿಗೆ ಹೊಡೆದಾನೆ. ಆ ಪೋಲ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೈರೆಲ್ಲ ಫೈರ್ ಶುರು ಆಯ್ತು. ಅಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೋಲ್ ಹೊಡೆದಿದ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಲ್ಸಿದ. ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವನು ಅದ್ರ ಮುಂದೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಗುದ್ದಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಅವನಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದಾನೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾನೆ.
The accident left many injured who were rushed to a nearby hospital. All were said to be out of danger except a pedestrian whose condition is said to be serious at the moment.
ಸರ್, ನಾನು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ರು, ಅವ್ರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬಂತು, ತಿರುಗಿದೆ. ಬೈಕ್ ನಾನು ಹೊಡೆದು ಬೈಕ್ ನಾನು ಜಂಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಕಾರ್ ಹಂಗೆ ರಪ್ಸವಾಗಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು. ನಾನು ಹಂಗೆ ಈಗ ನಿಂತಿದ್ದವನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೊರಟೋದೆ. ಅವ್ನು ಬಂದವನೇ ಈ ಡಿವೈಡರ್ಗೆ ಹತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಲೈಟ್ ಫೋಲ್ಸ್ ಹೊಡೆದು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೊಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ ಸರ್.
The High Grounds police who rushed to the spot took Jayappa into their custody. He told the police that the low BP he was suffering from caused the accident. Fortunately, the accident did not cause fatalities. Vishnu Prasad for News9, Bengaluru.
And well, dozens of students barged into the Bangalore University syndicate meeting at Central College in protest against the recent hike in exam fees.
There was chaos and confusion at the Central College campus today. Bangalore University students, with the support of numerous student organizations, barged into the syndicate meeting room at around 11:30 this morning, and this is what ensued. The students protested against the recent hike in exam fees for students from backward classes and the SC/ST community in degree and PG courses. The cops were called in to contain the situation, but it seemed to have little effect on the angry students. The cops had to finally take to manhandling the students, and 8 of them were arrested. Up until recently, students from financially weak backgrounds had to pay a concession fee for their exams. The government would credit the difference amount to BU directly, but the university claims that they have been asked to collect the normal fees from all students, and the ones eligible for concession could apply to the Department of Social Welfare by submitting a requisition. This means that the students who paid about 165 rupees in exam fees all this while are compelled to pay well over 2,500 rupees now. This has attracted the anger and disapproval of a majority of students who come from SC/ST and OBC communities. ABVP, SFI, AIDSO and numerous other student organizations have come together in protest against this.
From the past 4 days, from AIDSO Students Organization, we have been asking the VC and registrar to cut down the examination fees. Actually, it was 165 rupees examination fees. Now they have increased it to 2,800 rupees. Can anybody imagine a backward caste student who was paying 165 rupees, suddenly he has to pay 2,800 rupees? Here, this is Central College, Bangalore University. Who will come here? All backwards to caste students and basically poor students. So they have to be given exemption. Now the whole game plan is to take off the exemption. They are asking that you must pay 2,800 rupees, then you must get 60% marks. Then if government or university has funds, we will reimburse it. This we cannot accept. Our demand is it must be retained back to 165 rupees only.
According to new regulations, the students belonging to backward communities, SC and ST categories, are not supposed to take part in protests, and if they are found doing so, the fee concession awarded to them by the government would be cut off. While the students have stated that the protest would continue till the previous system is reinforced, the Vice-Chancellor has stated that the power to do this only lies with the government. After the meeting ended, officials announced a 50% concession for students from SC, ST and OBC communities. The meeting also discussed the cash for marks scam involving some of the top-ranking university officials. The Bangalore University has now requested the case be handed over either to the CBI or the Lokayukta. With Bangalore University announcing a 50% concession, students who used to pay just about 165 rupees will have to shell out about 1,000 rupees for exam fees. The university has said that there's nothing more that could be done from their side. It looks like the students will have to direct their angry protests at the government now. Amrita Patel, News9, Bengaluru.
If you frequent BMTC buses to reach your workplace or college, then it's time you increase your budget for commute. BMTC has hiked their bus fares yet again, fourth time in the past 2 years.
There are almost 7,000 BMTC buses in Bengaluru, ferrying almost 500 crore commuters across the city in multiple trips every single day. Every one of these commuters will have to shell out a little extra every time they step into a bus from now on. BMTC has hiked the fares by 15%. This means a bus ticket which cost you 5 rupees till yesterday will now cost you 6 rupees. In addition, the cost of a daily bus pass too has been increased by 10 rupees from 55 rupees to 65 rupees.
The recent bus fare hike is extremely inhuman and anti-people. It's inhuman because people are being forced to spend around 25 to 35% of their income just on transport now. There are lots of people, including people who are on contract employment in government departments who earn 4,000 rupees today. Government workers earn a minimum of 5,500 rupees today. Expecting them to spend 1,045 on a pass is extremely inhuman. What will they spend on their kids' education, on their healthcare, on house rents? You know, it's as if the government is not thinking about all these aspects at all. By increasing the bus fares again and again, the government is doing two things. One, it's forcing people to switch out to two-wheelers, leading to more traffic jams. And it's also forcing several people who cannot afford two-wheelers to start walking. People walk even a distance of 6 kilometers nowadays because they cannot afford the bus fare.
The Transport Corporation was reportedly waiting for the polls in Karnataka to end before announcing the hike. Expecting protests, they waited till late evening on Thursday to announce the fare hike coming into action from midnight. This is the fourth time BMTC has hiked its bus fares in the past 2 years. BMTC claims that apart from spending 51 crore rupees on